Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well, and today we're going to be talking about some stocks this week that are going to be reporting some earnings and some of the big names that are in this list, and I'll try and talk about my opinion on some of these stocks and where I'm kind of at with some of these stocks. But in general, at last we got to earnings season, hoping for some exciting earnings where we see some stocks moving up and down a little bit. Q1 was a little bit disappointing. Q2, hopefully we'll start to see some kind of I would say that the stock market in general for the US side of it is in a bit of a bubble right now, and hopefully that bubble gets popped slightly in this Q2 and the realization of the lockdown and the virus starting to actually reflect in share prices. Because when we're talking about 52-week highs on some of these stocks, and it's like, but the company's kind of running at 50% capacity, like, come on, let's have some share prices that reflect what's going on in the world right now. Hopefully this Q2 kind of pops a few of these bubbles and brings the prices back down to reality, in my opinion. So what I'll do now is I'll show some of the stocks reporting earnings, and as well as that I'll talk about these stocks a little bit as well. So as always guys, smash that like button, and this is a list of companies, or the most anticipated companies reporting earnings next week. Some big companies on this list, especially the Wednesday. I like the look of that Wednesday, but we'll talk about that in a second. So Monday in general, there's not really any stocks that I'm kind of focused on, to be honest with you. I mean, IBM, I know a few of you guys are invested in IBM, but then we've got Tuesday and then we've got CocaCola. So CocaCola will obviously probably be affected quite a bit with a lot of restaurants being closed, a lot of like leisure kind of industries where they've got a lot of deals in place. They will kind of be down, and we saw that with Pepsi, but the snacks business on Pepsi made a good decent amount of positive news for the company. Coca-Cola obviously doesn't have as many snacks, so obviously this one is probably going to get affected a lot more than Pepsi. I mean, if it kind of gets to around the kind of right sort of prices, then I might be tempted to buy it. But in general, I do like Pepsi over Coca-Cola because of the snacks. But when we do look at the stock chart, it's not really recovered as much as what other companies have done. Still down 21% right now. Pre-COVID-19 was nearly a $60 stock. Right now it's down at $46. So I mean, if this company does, maybe drop a little bit, I might be tempted to buy it. But even so, I'm not 100% sure. But if the price is right, I will be tempted to buy Coca-Cola. But I don't know if... I'll see what happens. Let's put it that way. And I will update you if my opinion changes and I do buy some shares in Coca-Cola. But it will have to dip a little bit from here for me to be kind of interested into buying this one overall. Then we've got Lockheed Martin. Some of you guys are invested in that one, I know. Pretty decent company. Philip Morris, obviously I'm invested in Altria, so yeah, but I always check Philip Morris out, but I think Altria are actually reporting earnings next week. Then we've got Snapchat, which I actually made a video on about maybe a month ago, but I said that it's a good company, but it just doesn't interest me as a lot of what the other like social media ones are. But overall it's actually done quite decent since then. I mean, it's gone up a lot, so it's one of those that is quite volatile over earnings, so we'll see what happens with there. I'll be honest, if I was a betting man, I'd probably bet for Snapchat to go down off earnings, but I'm not really a gambler in the stock market. But if I was to guess, I reckon it would go down. And in general, if you haven't got a social media play in your portfolio, get one. There's some good companies out there. I mean, Snapchat isn't too bad, Twitter's not too bad, you've got Pinterest, you've also got Facebook. So I would say that it's worth having a social media website in your portfolio if you don't have one anyway. You've got United Airlines, obviously we had Delta as well, Ameritrade. IRobot is an interesting one because that's a company that I obviously used to own, and I actually sold out of this stock. Right now it's currently trading around about $85. I sold out somewhere in this range. I think it must have been around the $80 range. I can't tell you exactly, but it's still at prices roughly where I've sold out at. It's kind of been flatlined the last couple of weeks since I sold out of it. But it did have a very good run. Once again, this is quite a volatile stock off earnings, so we might see this one move a little bit. If the stock does drop down to about the 50-40 range, which would be a big massive drop from here, so I don't see it happening, but if it does, then I would consider buying back into this one. So with it being on a good run, I would say this one is probably more than likely going to go down, but you never know. It is a volatile one off earnings, and if the price is right, I would buy it, but I don't think it'll get to the prices where I would like to buy. Then Wednesday morning, same again, not too many stocks that I'm really bothered about. After the close is the big one. We've got Tesla. Obviously Tesla, I think it's probably the most talked about stock out there right now, isn't it? Obviously 1,500. I would think that even, I'm a big fan of Tesla, but I think even a lot of the Tesla longs will tell you that stock is overvalued. You know, you look at the sharp jump there, you look how overvalued this company is right now, and I mean, it could do okay. I think deliveries were pretty strong, but we'll see if this stock does pull back and this kind of is the top of the stock market chart for Tesla for a while. Obviously, I should have bought Tesla back in the dip, and I didn't. I was kind of waiting for it to go below, 350-ish, and then I would have bought it. I mean, I would buy Tesla under 500. I know that's quite far away off where it is right now, but we are talking about a stock that is definitely overvalued right now. So we'll see what happens, but interesting to see, because I am a fan of the company, and if it was at the right price I would buy. But yeah, these sort of valuations are absolutely crazy. And then we've got Microsoft, which is currently my biggest position in my portfolio, my second favorite company right now on the stock market. It is at prices that are a little too high for me. I mean, I won't buy this one at these prices unless you had to, because you haven't been buying on dips. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with earnings. I think they should do okay with the work at home that's kind of gone on in general. AAA probably do okay. Align Technology, another one that I used to own, I think they probably post weak earnings, but we'll see with that. Whirlpool, Las Vegas Sands. And then on Thursday we've got Twitter, which is probably one of the most volatile stocks on here. Like, this one always trades in a bit of a range, really. I mean, it is down off its 52-week highs, but I mean, it's just chopping around in ranges, really. But overall, it's not a bad price stock right now in general. So we'll see what happens with Twitter overall. Southwest and American Airlines, obviously, Delta, they had not great earnings, so obviously we'll see what happens with there. Tractor Supply, I saw Jim Cramer actually pumping up this stock the other day. It's had a pretty decent run. Intel, obviously, after the close on Thursday, they lost Apple, but it didn't really seem to affect the stock, really, even though it lost the deal to supply some of the chips for Apple. Yeah, so it's just kind of being flat, really, trading around about the $60 mark as Intel. So yeah, I'm not a massive Intel fan. If the price was right, it might tempt me, but I'm not a massive fan of Intel. AT&T, I know some of you guys missed that, like that company. I'm really sorry I missed that one out. Skyworks, I'm a fan of Skyworks, would like to get into it at the right prices because of the 4G side of it. Skechers, yeah, I've got a bit of a history with Skechers, so we won't get on that one today. It's like talking about the ex-girlfriend. Yeah, and then Friday, Verizon. Some of you guys are Verizon fans, I think. American Express, Honeywell. I know some of you guys like them stocks overall. I don't think I'll keep as close of an eye on them ones, but hey, we'll see what happens with them ones in general. So overall, some big companies reporting earnings. Wednesday will be definitely a big one with them Tesla earnings, Microsoft earnings. I'll be keeping an eye on them too for sure. So I'll be probably on CNBC at 9 p.m. for me, UK time, seeing what goes on with them ones. But yeah, so it's starting to get a little bit more busy with that earnings season now. Obviously, we always have the banks first. Then we get onto a few more of the companies that a lot of us hold, and I'm sure next week will probably be a big one. Without looking right now, I'd probably guess like Facebook and Apple probably next week, Visa. I'm not 100% sure, but that's normally how it follows. So this week and next week will probably be the two busiest weeks. So it'll be interesting overall, and like I say, if there's any kind of shockers in the earnings, I probably will make a video on it anyway. As always, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that gave you some information for this week ahead, what's going on. As always, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you on the next video.